Carsome is the largest and fastest growing used car platform in Southeast Asia. Very recently, their Series B funding round has seen them raise $15 million US. I speak to their founder and CEO to discuss about the prospects of the growth of Carsome.
So we raised a Series B funding round of a total of $15 million US, and with that we have a better principal investment coming from Germany, who will be leading the round, and existing investors like Gobi Partners, Lume Capital also participate. So what happens with this round is we have a good mix of local and global investors that are supporting us, that would help us to continue to grow the market, grow the business in Southeast Asia.
And what was the fund size for your Series A round like?
Previously, we raised 3 rounds, and the recent round was last year, and it was $6 million.
US dollars as well?
US dollar as well.
Okay, with this growth, strength by strength, does it mean that there are serious indicators towards the acceleration that the company is going right now? Could you explain a little bit about the growth trajectory and the speed that you're at right now? Are you comfortable with the growing at this speed?
Yeah, sure. So from last year until now, we have grown fourfold, and the business still has a lot of potential in terms of growing the market especially within Southeast Asia. So with this funding round, what we intend to do is to really penetrate deeper into markets like Indonesia and Thailand, where there are so many cities that we're not covering right now. So this would be utilized in the expansion so that we could further increase the growth of the company.
What will you be doing with so much money?
So there's a lot of areas that we can spend the money on. So the first of all is expansion. And expansion requires manpower. So and also in terms of our product development pipeline, we need to have more automation in the business. So right now we have implemented about 50% of the overall process to be automated, and we intend to actually use this funding to introduce more automation in the whole selling process. So additionally is to really bring up the awareness of the business. So people might know about Carsome, but they don't know what the service do offer. So what we intend to do with this is to really bring ourselves out in the market and tell everyone that this would be the new default way of selling your car.
Okay, and there's so many used car platforms out there. I personally have used at least 4.
Okay.
Then there's, by my own record, I'm sure there's so many others out there. I have been using a lot more. What puts Carsome a little bit different from the rest to a point where you are outgrowing all the other used car platforms out there?
Sure. So essentially, Carsome service is to really connect car sellers to the used car dealer using a virtual auction system. So with this, we are able to help get you the best price possible in the entire country. So if you look at existing channels to sell your car, you could possibly list it up on a website, or you could actually walk into a dealership to get the price. So all this manner would actually get you the best price within the city itself, but not to the entire country. So in a sense, we are able to not just facilitate a simpler process to sell your car, but we ensure that you get a fair price in the market itself.
And of course, then the question is on the markets that you are in. This is a Malaysian homegrown company, but when you say Southeast Asia, this is the busiest place to be on the planet. How are you diversifying your market going forward?
Yeah, so there's more things coming up from the platform, where first of all we are launching the financing product to the dealers, and at the same time also we are inputting warranty options to the cars that we are selling to the dealers. So in hope to actually instill confidence for the used car industry. As you know, most people when they buy a used car, they would think that the quality might be uncertain and dealers are deemed as unprofessional. So these are the things that we want to actually boost and instill confidence in the market by not just helping people to sell, but at the same time empowering dealers to do business.
Is Malaysia featured extensively in your growth strategy, or are you diversifying to other markets?
So we have a vision of being the leading company for used car in Southeast Asia. So, and Malaysia has been always our home ground, and it's important to actually use this market to validate our product market fit, the idea. So because it's very similar to Indonesia and Thailand, where culturally mindset, everything is very similar. So what works over here could very often also work in other countries. So as the market itself is big enough to sustain the business, but the vision for Carsome is really to become the leading company in Southeast Asia. Hence, Indonesia, Thailand will be a big market for us.
And of course, will this just be it, focusing on Indonesia and Thailand, or there's more as well? More to come.
I guess in the short term, these are the main focus. Yeah, because geographically, these three is the biggest country in Southeast Asia. Additionally, they also have the highest volume in car market. So, but we do look at other markets at the same time, like Philippines, Vietnam. So these are the places where, given the timing is right, we will be launching our service there too.
Let's talk about the process of the funding, not just about the Series B that was just announced, but throughout the whole process, from seed fund all the way to Series B. Was it difficult, as people say?
Oh, it's always difficult actually. Every round is have their own challenges, own set of challenges. But I would say at the very beginning, when we first went out to raise fund, it's really about validating the product, the business model, whether it makes sense to the market. Many times when it comes to that kind of conversation to investors, is really to make them understand that this is something innovative, disruptive to the market. But as we enter the last round, like A and this current B round, it's more importantly if the numbers are growing. So it's very important to see that once you found the right product market fit, are you able to execute it and grow to become a market leader? So I think what we addressed in the past 12 months is to really make sure that we can grow to the kind of milestones that we have set for ourselves and our investors.
At any point in stage, did you seek for government assistance?
So we do actually. So like at the same time, one of our investors, Scorpio Partners, is actually a JV with MAVCAP. So with them, they actually help us introduce us to MDV, so Malaysia Debt Ventures, and also some of the other local government entity that can help us in growing the business. So one of it is actually they contributing cars because they have the need to dispose their cars.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And how is the relationship like in terms of working with MDV? Of course, I'm pretty sure that you come across Cradle as well, part of your early stages.
Yeah, earlier stages, yes. I mean, we didn't really work hand in hand together, but there's multiple touch points where we are also at the same time in this discussion on how to grow the business. I think overall, as the Malaysia investment scene, the VC investment scene, is been very active, largely on the earlier stage startups. Yeah. So when it comes to addressing the funding gap, like Series A, Series B, I think in many ways you will still need a regional exposure to help you realize that funding round.
And for you in particular, Carsome in particular, how did you reach out to regional investors, particularly in trying to string Series A and B together? Yep. What was the impetus? How did you come about it?
So I guess in a lot of that is being done by introduction. So from one investor to another, because a lot of investors are always looking for deals to invest, a business that they think would be growing to a really big one. So most of the investors that we have on board are introduced by the existing ones, or those the investors who deem us as they can't invest, but they could actually get someone else to come in as a support.
The dilemma of an investor is that there's plenty of money, not much businesses that they want to bet their money on.
Yep.
Is this conundrum true in the first place?
I think there is a lot of business out there that could be funded. Yeah, and obviously it depends on the mandate of the fund itself. Yeah, if they are looking for a specific vertical, or they are looking at something that has the regional exposure on not just one country but multiple countries. So funds are there, companies, startups are also there. It's just really how to match the supply and demand.
Do you think that the match of supply and demand is problematic right now? Or not problematic, but there can be better ways of doing things?
I think it's fine. I mean, there's a lot of events that you can go to actually to meet investors. And a lot of programs like by Magic, and overseas there's also Tech in Asia, E27, Echelon. So these actually help in connecting matching the supply and demand. So definitely more events, more this kind of things would actually help the ecosystem.
All right, thank you very much. I wish you all the best, and hopefully we get to see you very soon. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
All right, take care. All right. That was my discussion with Eric Chang, the co-founder and CEO of Carsome. If you want to learn more about the other discussions that we have on this channel, just head on to astroawani.com or awanireview.com. Also follow us on all our social sites, either at 501awani or at Awani Review, either on Twitter or Instagram. And be sure to also like us on our Facebook page. I'm Ibrahim Sani, thanks for watching and goodbye.